Happy Monday and welcome to another Monday with Marie. So this Monday we have a question, and our question comes from Charlotte D. And Charlotte D says that she's been working on trying to get new directions, new proposals into her organization. And her question is, what strategies have you found effective in getting buy-in from your team when proposing a new change or direction? Charlotte, I'm glad you asked this question. This is a really great question. I'm going to start this question as I flip the paper over. I'm going to start this question by saying that the strategies that I'm going to be talking about are really rooted in empathy, respect, and collaboration. It's the only way that you're going to be able to create an environment where change is not only accepted, but it's embraced. So you've got to build trust in order to ensure that people are open and willing to the change. And you also have to create habits around the change. So what does that mean? Well, first, transparency when it comes to communication. You have to start with why. Simon Sinek has coined that phrase and we use it all the time. But the truth is we have to have clear explanations on the reasons behind the change, expectations on what are the benefits of the change. So remember, people think about things in terms of what's in it for me. How is this going to benefit me? It's not to say that people are selfish. It's that they want to understand, especially in the workplace, how am I going to benefit from this particular change? What is this really going to bring about for me? So you want to make sure that you're really transparent around what the motivations are for making these changes, what's the impact going to be, so that you can help people truly understand the value and the necessity for the change. People don't like change for change's sake. We just don't. As humans, we don't like it. We want to understand why we need to change, what's the importance of the change, what will the change bring about. And so you've got to be able to communicate that, Charlotte. Next, you want to make sure that it is inclusive. So when you're planning the process of changing something, you want to make sure that it is a very inclusive process. Involve the team members in the planning stages. One of the big fails that companies have, and I've seen this all the time when I go in and I help them with strategy, is that change happens in a vacuum. People are constantly thinking about change in a vacuum. And so when they think about change in a vacuum, what happens is that people feel like their opinions haven't been heard. They feel like their expertise isn't valued. So you want to make sure that you're inclusive in that planning process. You've talked to them about the why. You've talked to them about what's motivating the change. Now talk to them about how can we bring about the change. That we statement is really important in this. Make sure it's a collaborative approach. Make sure that people can understand what's going on, and you can help them come up with those ideas. So you really want to make sure of that. Now, you want to also address any concerns that people may have. That's going to be really key with this. You want to be able to address those concerns. You want to be able to really help them understand change is a big deal. It's daunting for people. So be really open with letting people talk about why they fearful of the change. What is this change really going to bring about for them? What is going to be the problems around the change that they foresee, so that they can get that out in the open and they can ask questions around it and they feel comfortable with what's going on. And then you want to provide support and resources. So once I've told you what I'm afraid of, you want to be able to provide me with some resources and support around making sure that I'm able to do those changes. And so is it in the form of training, tools, additional team resources, technology, whatever those resources are, make sure that you're communicating that. Make sure you're hearing people when they say they need those resources as you're moving forward. The big one is celebrating even the smallest wins. As soon as you've had a success with something, celebrate that success. That builds momentum. When you recognize milestones, when you recognize what the big hurdles or even the small hurdles that people go through, Charlotte, they get really excited about building that momentum. And that's what you want. So that's why we want to celebrate that progress. And you want to lead by example, which is the key. If you are proposing this change, or even if it's your management that's proposing the change, you as the leader, you want to show with your attitude, you want to set the tone that this is a good thing, this is positive. You want to show that these are going to be successes because we're going to gain them together, and you're going to walk this talk with them. So it's not you've got to change, but I'm going to stay the same. It's we have to change. And that's going to be the big thing and the big takeaway around this. So remember, all of these strategies are really based on being able to help you exact change in your organization. And Charlotte, I hope that answers your question. I mean, it's really getting that buy-in from your team is really critical for the success of any program that you have, any process, any implementation. Even if you are a project management team that's working with another company, you want to make sure that you use these same elements. If you're a consultant going into an organization, you want to make sure you're using these elements as well. And again, if you're an internal person trying to exact internal change, these elements will help you. And again, it's transparency, it's inclusivity, it's addressing the concerns, it's providing support and resources, celebrate those small wins, and lead by example. Well, I hope that helps for today. I will see you next Monday, same bat time, same bat place. Bye now.